Welcome to a new What I Eat in a Day. This day, my focus was to eat higher protein without using any protein powder. I can't have tofu, which is a really good plant-based protein source, so this is without tofu as well. Just a disclaimer, this is not a how-to video. Take it more as inspiration. I also want to say that it's not all about individual foods that are high in protein. When you add foods together, the protein content will add up and can in turn create a high protein meal. I started this day by trying to make a new recipe, a baked protein oatmeal without protein powder. So I first preheated the oven to 175 degrees Celsius. I made it similar to how I would make baked oatmeal. So I added 1 banana to a blender, then I added half a cup of rolled oats, and instead of protein powder, you can actually use beans. So I added half a cup of cannellini beans, and no, you won't be able to taste them. I also added a tablespoon of ground flax seeds for healthy fats, then I just added a pinch of salt, some ground cardamom, cinnamon, and half a teaspoon of baking powder. Then I did add 1 cup of pea milk, but in retrospect, I think half a cup would have been better. I'll explain later. But if you're using plant milk and want to up your protein intake, I recommend either pea milk or soy milk. But yeah, then I just blended everything into a batter, and then I greased a ramekin with coconut oil before I added the batter. I also added frozen blueberries. You really want to add berries or maybe apples because it will just taste so much better if you do, and also add polyphenols, vitamins, and minerals. And fiber, of course. I put this in the oven and my intention was to bake it for 20 minutes, but I think I had too much milk because it was nowhere done after 20 or even 30 minutes. So I increased the temperature, but then it was getting late in the morning and I was like, no, I need to eat now. So I gave up and took it out. Then I added hemp seeds for extra protein and healthy fats. It did taste like regular baked oatmeal, so very delicious, but the temperature and the milk probably needs some adjustments. As you can see here, it's not done in the middle, but on the sides, it's the exact consistency I was hoping I would get. I will write the measurements in the description box, but we have to figure out the temperature or just try it with less milk. So I will write half a cup probably. Then I made myself a matcha latte. And again, I used pea milk to add just a little bit more protein. For lunch, I reheated a bean stew that I had for dinner the other day, and I had it with oat rice. I don't have a particular recipe for this, but pairing legumes and grains, breathing break, where was I? Yeah, that will usually give me a meal that's around 20 grams of protein. And how much protein you get obviously depends on your portion size, and we're all different. We all require different amounts of foods, and we're also able to eat different amounts of foods without getting too full or too hungry. I also added half an avocado to balance out the meal with healthy fats. Then I sprinkled on nutritional yeast, which also contains protein, but not very high considering the amount that I added. It was kind of small. I had my pumpkin seed bars as my afternoon snack. I will link the recipe in the description box. And yeah, nuts and seeds are high in fat, but they can also be high in protein. I I keep saying it like that, it's annoying to me. To me. I'm so annoyed with my voice. For dinner, I was thinking, okay, my chickpea omelette is pretty high in protein, but can I make something else with chickpea flour instead? So I kind of used the base recipe for the omelette to make a pizza base. So it's half a cup of chickpea flour and half a cup of water. I didn't add all of the spices that I usually add to the omelette because, yeah, it would be weird. So yeah, I just added salt. I wanted to make it a little bit thicker, so I added some extra chickpea flour. The next step was to heat a pan on medium heat and add avocado oil. Then I added the batter. I really wish I could have the sizzling sound effect, but the microphone on my camera randomly just doesn't work sometimes. But sometimes it does. It's kind of annoying. Just listen to this. Yeah, it's awful, but then I flipped it when it looked something like this. Then I transferred the pizza base to a baking tray lined with parchment paper. I made the tomato sauce like I used to make it many years ago when I made tortilla-based pizzas. So I just added about 2.5 tablespoons of tomato paste into a bowl. Then I thinned it out with water. It's best to add it gradually so it doesn't get too thin. Then I added spices like salt, garlic powder, dried basil, and oregano. I didn't have that many pizza toppings at home, so I just had cherry tomatoes and broccoli. I feel like adding tomatoes to a pizza is kind of boring when you have a tomato sauce already. I like to add sun-dried tomatoes, but they have a different flavor with lots of umami. But I would still say this pizza turned out really, really good. So, I mean, it doesn't matter. You can put whatever you want on your pizza. I was gonna make a sunflower seed cheese sauce at first instead of using actual cheese, but I didn't have much sunflower seeds left at home, so I made a hummus cheese sauce instead. This is about 70 grams of hummus, just for reference. Then I added about a tablespoon, probably a little more than a tablespoon of nutritional yeast. It adds a cheesy flavor, and this amount adds also protein. Protein! Why do I keep saying it like that? Then again, you want to thin it out with water. Just don't add too much because you don't want it to be too thin. This is a good consistency, I would say, so finally I just added the sauce on top of the pizza. I put it in the oven at 185 degrees Celsius and I just let it be there until the hummus sauce looked kind of golden. Then I added a red cabbage salad that I had in the fridge. It's just red cabbage, apple cider vinegar, olive oil, salt and pepper. I just eyeballed the measurements. Do you guys have pizza salad in your country, by the way? Because in Sweden we call this pizza salad. It's usually made of white or green cabbage though, and probably canola oil. But yeah, it's delicious with pizza. So that's all I ate this day, 92.9 grams of protein, which for me is kind of high since I'm kind of small. But as I said, if you need more, just eat more and the protein will add up. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.